Yes, I printed out new character sheets, and there are some changes. Notice that how many marks it's going to take you to get to a certain skill has changed.
Yeah.
We are going back to the rules the way they were in the beginning before I forgot all about them. I'm not taking away anything, it's just to get to the next skill level, you're going to need that many marks. Okay? So, Vladik, you've got a +3 on pilot, so yeah, you've got, what does that say, 4 out of 40?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's going to be a long time till you hit 4. But again, in the first session, that's how I said it was going to work, and then I forgot. So, and I have, in my mind, fixed something. It bothers me that all you got to do is twist a couple of knobs and you get a mark, but if you study or train for a whole week, you only get a mark. So here's what we're going to do. At the end of each jump week, whichever skill you've been training, you will roll a d6. So it might only be 1 mark, and hey, it was a week that you didn't get to study as much as you thought you were gonna. Or it might be 6 marks that you got for that week, which will really advance you forward. So does that soften the blow a bit as far as the big gaps?
I like that.
And then we need to do some recap. And I made a different kind of previously on. You know how before we did a plot recap video? I did a character recap video. We need to go into this session really knowing about Paxo and Brill. Okay? So. He has shaggy, bright green hair and a bandana with a swirling, colorful pattern on it. The bandana is tied in the back with loose ends hanging down a foot and more. He's wearing an unbuttoned brown vest over a baggy white shirt. His pale blue pants flare out at the bottom, covering his sandaled feet that only become visible when he jumps. The trail leads to a wide trail, and parked along the side of it is a small bus. It's painted in garish colors with strange symbols. Colorful smudges depicting smiling faces, flowers, and butterflies obscure every window except for the front windshield. The inside of the bus is an assault on the senses. The smells are spicy, earthy, herbal, and thick. The floor is strewn with colorful pillows. The walls are scrawled with hand-drawn notes and diagrams and maps. But also there are several large devices of purpose unknown to you. Some are the size of a shoebox. Some are standing consoles with multiple screens and many dials, knobs, and buttons. Also, there are a few cases and satchels of various sizes. Once the door is closed, he turns around and just grins widely at all of you. He looks like this is the greatest day of his life. So, the living room is large. Or maybe it just feels that way because there's no furniture in it. There's pillows and beanbags all over the floor. The walls are covered in tapestries and posters, paintings, drawings. And then over there in the dining area, it's like a totally different house. There's a large desk with 4 screens sitting on it, a keyboard, boxes with blinking lights and stuff, a huge mess of papers. And there's a bookshelf next to the desk with 100 or so books and odd items in the empty places. These walls aren't covered, but there is a lot of stuff. There's a variety of charts, maps, one big topographic map with pins in it. And sitting at the desk, there's a man with a shaved head with his back to you. So once you all get in, Paxo looks toward the desk and says, "Vril!" The man in the chair turns around. He looks to be about the same age as Paxo, early 30s. He scans all of you, and then he looks at Paxo. This man is dressed conservatively. He's got a white button shirt with short sleeves, black necktie, black slacks, black shoes. He's just glaring at Paxo. Paxo says something very excited. Vril says something impatient. Paxo says something persuading. Vril says something fed up. You can't understand their words, but it's clear that this is a scene between the two of them that has played out many times. Vril stands up and just marches out the front door, which he slams shut. And then you hear the bus start up and leave. Paxo doesn't look the slightest bit embarrassed over this scene. He sits down, cross-legged, wraps the blanket around himself, and leans back against the wall thinking, with a big smile like a man whose all of his dreams have just come true. The front door opened, and the rising sun is blazing in. It startles all of you awake. The bald man stands there, just looking at the sight of bodies all over the floor. Paxa says, "Been telling, Vril." Vril looks around and says, "Perntudge," with disgust. Okay, well, the lip of the ramp doesn't even touch the ground before he, jumps up onto it and runs in. He's saying all kinds of excited stuff you can't understand. He's gazing at everything in awe and wonder, moving from object to object, from site to site, practically running, and that's just the cargo bay. When you guys get to the bridge, he takes a seat at the bridge and strikes a pose and says, "Desquiel me aspectus, cabo," and just smiles widely. He then spins around in the chair, and I don't know, it's a little embarrassing. He seems to be pretending that he's flying the ship.
Oh dear.
He's at contact. He doesn't seem to know any better. The dude is making sound effects and everything. He's going beep boop beep beep from the box over Ponta Pertivac beep boop. And he just giggles and giggles. This is obviously a very big life event for him. So you guys would be discussing what you wanted to do next.
Yeah.
Vril becomes curious as he's hearing you guys talk. He eventually turns around in his chair and he's eating his dinner and watching all of you, a little skeptical, but he's listening. And as you guys are talking about this stuff, he opens a drawer and fishes out a small box. He looks very skeptical, but he says, "Mi estas Vril." Then he holds it out to you and pushes the button.
Okay. My name is Bardak.
He taps the screen and hands it to you, and it's a picture of a circle. Okay, so obviously that was not meant to recap events as much as it is to recap the personalities of these characters and their interaction, how they interact and that sort of thing. So, what are some of the adjectives that you might use? Well, which ones did I use for Vril?
Conservative.
Yeah.
Impatient.
Oh, yeah. I used the word skeptical twice. Okay. And what did he call all of you?
Losers.
Uh-huh. Yeah, Perntudge. So how would we describe Boxo's personality?
He's like
Not skeptical. The opposite of skeptical. Naive, maybe.
opposite of Vril. He's very goofy.
Yeah. Bit of a clown.
He thinks that contact makes the spaceship fly.
But it's also friendly and kind and hospitable.
Yeah. Okay. That's good. Also, I noticed as I reviewed the video that we didn't get what everybody was wearing. We just heard from the two of them. But let's go ahead and go around the table and briefly describe our outfits for the record. Whoever likes can go first.
Tie-dye shirt, paisley pants, sandals, brown jacket, red bandana.
Red bandana, okay. Next.
Tie-dyed shirt with swirling colors, pinstripe pants, black jacket, sandals, black sunglasses, rainbow bandana, rainbow bracelets, rainbow bead necklace.
Wow, his outfit alone weighs 20 pounds.
Oversized white blouse, purple skirt, sandals, hair down and a rope bound around her head, and sunglasses.
Oh, okay. And Bosk.
Dashiki in orange and blues. Blue jeans with colorful patches and embroidery. Sandals, brown jacket, sunglasses, and blue and orange bandana.
Okay, alright, we got that for the record. Now, let's talk about what happened last time. Where are we at? What's going on? What happened? What's happening? What's gonna happen? So, as soon as the remote wakes up, I tell you, this thing just has not been the same since the cat peed on it. I'm kidding. I mean, he did, but I got it cleaned. But it's just been a funny joke we've been using ever since then.